Good morning, children. Hope you all are hale and happy and taking very good care of yourself. Welcome to Session 1, Social Studies, Paper 2, Chapter 18, Emerging Political Trends 1977 to 2000. Today, we are going to learn about the return of democracy after emergency, 1977 elections, and the end of emergency. In this chapter, we will look more closely at political events in contemporary India. Many of these events and issues have sharply divided and even polarized the political landscape of this country. As a result of a change in the party system and emergence of competitive multi-party system, no single party was able to form a government on its own, and we have a series of coalition governments. So children, in this chapter we are going to learn that how the end of a Congress party has came to be domination of a Congress party has came to be an end, and how it has been divided, polarized the Indian political system into a strong Congress party and the emergence of a multi-party system. Usually, when in the last chapter we have learned that as Congress party has won continuously for the 3 terms, and it was considered as the Congress system. But now the trend has been changed. Now it's given a chance to the other parties also to come up with their priorities, and because of this, a series of coalition governments was took place. Coalition government means when a single party is unable to acquire a majority, it need a support from the other parties to form a government. This type of government, we call it as a coalition government. In the economic sphere, this period brought about a major shift in the development strategy. The tension between the economics of market and the politics of democracy begins to play itself out during this period. At the same time, old issues of religious and caste differences are repackaged and used for political mobilization. Now, as a transformation started in India, now people started giving importance to the regional parties. So it need the scope in economic policies also, where they can make such type of development strategies which can uplift the economy, as well as they at the same time they have to maintain the politics of a inner democracy also. And most of the when the multi-party system emerged, most of the political parties, they started using the old issues, like they have started giving priority to the religious issues and the caste differences. They repacked it and they make it as a one of the political issues in India. Return of democracy after emergency. The period between 1975 to 1985 was a testing time for Indian democracy. It began with the state of emergency, in which basic democratic rights were denied, and ended with the historical electoral victory of the Congress led by Rajiv Gandhi. 1975 to 1985, these 10 years played a very vital role, and we can consider it as a testing time for the Indian democracy, as it has been started by the Congress party, and this transformation even ended by the Congress party only by getting a victory of by Rajiv Gandhi. Though it began and ended with the rule of the Congress party, it saw the emergence of viable alternatives to the Congress at both the center and in the states. So now, though it has been ended the emergency period and tried to bring a prosperity or normalcy by the Congress party, but at the same time, it has been given a chance to the other political parties, and they make a strong stand both at the center and the state. This effectively prevented India from sliding into a single party democracy, and it happened in many countries. Usually, when we are saying that when a party is having a dominance from the beginning, it try to have the same dominance. But in India, the trend has been changed. The transformation take place that from the domination of one party started giving a priority or prosperating the ideology of the different political parties also. Here, the state of emergency, which was considered as the darkest hours of Indian democracy, 1975 to 1977. This also allowed many different political viewpoints and sectional interests to become active in state level as well as national politics. Political viewpoints of socialists, Hindu nationalists, communists, as well as sectional interests like those of farmers, Dalits, backward castes, and regions, among others, now came to the fore and asserted their claims. Now, previously it was just a trend that only it should be welfare policy should be made on the overall aspects. But now the other, because the regionalism has been started emerging, because each region is having its own political representation. So some common issues has been included in their manifestos. Especially they started giving a focus or importance to the farmers' problems, Dalits. They should be having an importance for the backward classes and the regions, and these are the political parties which make their this as their important agendas when they are propagating their policies and all that. Number of non-political movements also started, like environmental movement started, feminist movement, civil liberties movement, literacy movements, and so on also emerged and became powerful motors of social change. Not only the political issues, even the other political movements also for the protection of environment, again movement against the pollutions, feminist movement, upliftment and for the development of women also started. Such type of movement started during this period. Civil liberties, literacy, especially education, they started giving priority to the education, and these are the non-political issues which became a topic of a social change in India by the regional parties. When elections were announced in January 1977, after the end of emergency, it took everyone by surprise. No one had expected elections to be held. Indira Gandhi released all political prisoners, removed censorship, as well as other regulations in place which restricted freedom movement, campaigns, and meetings. Now, 1977, this year, they have expected, that means they have declared an elections, and no one has been expected that elections will be held after the emergency. And Indira Gandhi has released all the political prisoners, those who are get imprisoned during the period of emergency, because at that during the period of emergency, opposition cannot be put on their viewpoints. And so all that prisoners were get released. The major opposition parties decided to come together to challenge the Congress. Now it's a time of election, so all the non-Congress parties or the other parties, opposition parties, they make an alliance that they are going to compete against the Congress. It was a historic election for the Indian democracy. The Congress party was defeated at the national level for the first time, and the Janata Party came to power. Now, in the history of Indian democracy in the year 1977, in this election, Congress Party defeated, and for the first time at the national level, Janata Party came to power. Mr. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy was unanimously elected as Speaker of the 6th Lok Sabha on 26th March 1977. Later, he was elected unopposed, the only president of India to be elected, being unanimously supported by all political parties, including the opposition Congress Party, and sworn as the 6th president of India on 25th July 1977. During his term of office, Sanjeeva Reddy had to work with three governments under Prime Ministers Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, and Indira Gandhi. Now, unanimously, Janata Party won at the center, and Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy he became a first non-Congress speaker. He held his office on 26th March 1977, and later Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy was elected as a sixth president of India unanimously. Even the opposition also uh, put forth their viewpoint that he will be a, without any opposition. They have also considered and voted for him as a sixth president of India. And Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, he has served in the term of three governments: Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, and even Indira Gandhi also. Here, Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, He was a sixth president of India. Morarji Desai was the first non-Congress prime minister. His name is Morarji Desai. He was the first non-Congress prime minister. Now, other than Congress party, no one can be expected to become a prime minister. Now, in the 1977 elections, Morarji Desai became first non-Congress prime minister. The Janata Party had come to power promising a restoration of democracy and freedom from authoritarian rule. However, the disunity among the partners had a serious effect on the governance, and its role is most often remembered for internal squabbles, quarrel about something, and defections. It resulted in the fall of government within 3 years, leading to fresh elections in 1980. Now, it's for the first time that the coalition government was formed. They took the support. Though the Janata Party had emerged as with the promising of a restoration of democracy, they have promises a lot, but within a period of 3 years, because of their internal party disturbance and all that, this government has been formed after serving only for 3 years in the year 1980. Then the Congress returned to power in 1980. The actions of both the Janata Party and Congress governments weakened the federal principles and backed a more centralizing position. This was accompanied by some serious challenges to national unity too. The non-Congress regional parties like SAD and DMK meanwhile attempted to come together to form a common front in support of greater say in national level decision making. So because of the fall of the Janata Party, once again the Congress party came into power in the year 1980, but the people know, but as no one is presenting a strong viewpoint on behalf of the people, so even some political parties are still surviving, such as SAD, Shiromani Akali Dal, and DMK, Dravidya Munnetra Kazakam, and they have make themselves a strong impact, and they are also taking decision at the national level. They have just discussing about the decision making, national level decision making, greater financial autonomy. They want that particular state should be having their autonomy. They can decide financial matters of their own without the more interference of a central government. Lower interference in state matters and stopping the misuse of the powers of the governor and arbitrary imposition of president's rule. So these are the issues, especially the regional parties want that they should be having autonomy in at the law and order level, financial level, and they should not be having any central government interference for any other issues when the state government can be solved by its own. And as it was a trend that if they are having an opposition party or opposition government, then governors try to impose the president's rule. AIADMK, All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazakam. This is an regional party in Tamil Nadu and Union Territory of Puducherry. Shiromani Akali Dal, regional party of Punjab. Now, president's rule. Children, this is a very important concept. As per the provision of the Constitution, Article 356, the governor of a state can recommend to the president the dismissal of a state government and even dissolution of a state assembly if he or she is convinced that the government is not able to administer the state as per the Constitution. This president's rule is written in a constitution, Article 356, according to which the governor can give a suggestion or he can he can recommend the president to dismiss the state assembly. He has to convince the president that the state government is not working according to the norms which has been mentioned in our constitution. The president may then, on the advice of the prime minister, dismiss the state government and order the governor to take over the administration of the state. Since there was no clear guideline in the constitution in this regard, many central governments often misused Article 356 to harass and dismiss state governments headed by opposition parties. In 1994, in an important judgment, the Supreme Court laid down strict norms for the use of Article 356 by the central government. Since then, such misuse of this power has become rare. Let us have a quick recap, children. Today we have learned 1977 elections and the end of emergency, emergence of non-Congress party, and a very important article, Article 356, President's Rule. Now it's a time for a home assignment. You have to write a short note on President's Rule. Children, please refer textbook when you're writing this home assignment. Thank you.